touch money, touch money, touch money. And Jayden Quaintance, boys, he touching himself some money. But I'll tell you what he's not touching, and that's the playing court for the Kentucky Wildcats anytime soon. What's cooking? Welcome back into another edition of ESPN Louisville Plus. I'm Justin Silver, and of course, I got you covered for all things cards, cats, bourbon, and bluegrass. Today, we are focused back on the Kentucky Wildcats, and unfortunately, a story that's kind of swirled around both programs, talking about players that may be opting out. Are they no longer going to be playing on the season, but they're still going to be collecting that paycheck? And well, that's the latest news and circumstances surrounding Jayden Quaintance. Will he? Won't he? Why not just give us the final word at this point? But here's basically where we're going to go at it, and you can watch over here to the main news story of the day. And this is Sea of Blue, James Treeble's old stomping grounds, reporting that Jayden Quaintance has been fully shut down. And this was news that was kind of broken during the press conference today. Mark Pope confirmed it, but they have it in writing here instead of having to play it back and then get a copyright from what Mark Pope had to say. I can go ahead and read it off their article. He's not played since January 7th, and Mark Pope kind of made it clear because we were kind of wondering what was happening with Jayden Quaintance. Well, he's still dealing with a little bit of swelling, and we're trying to make sure that we get to a great kickoff point. I wish I could predict how that's going to work. We don't know. Because of lingering issue, Quaintance is currently not doing any basketball activities and has been fully shut down. Right now, he's on full shutdown in terms of his on-court work. We're doing everything we can with the performance of this team. He goes on to say every day he misses, he loses some of the strength that they work so hard to develop, the knee protective strength, and it's a little bit of a complicated bag. Yeah, I bet it is. Poe also confirmed that Quaintance will not play Saturday at Arkansas. I mean, thank you for confirming that. Anyway, unless there's significant improvement, showing how cautious Kentucky is being with Quaintance's health. Additionally, and just go off and like we can go ahead and cover some of the tongue-in-cheek cuteness, funniness of it, if you will. But Big Blue Nation on Twitter tweeted out that Jaden Quaintance has gotten paid $1 million per game to play for Kentucky. Generational robbery. And I looked, is that true? Is that true? Could that possibly be true? And I also didn't realize, is he really getting paid for 4 games? He's making $4 million. Are they really paying $4 million? Is that what it's come to? Well, I guess that's the scenario now. I didn't realize. I knew $22 million for the Kentucky Wildcats is how much they're paying for this roster. I had no idea that Jayden Quaintance, even though he is kind of he was viewed as the crown jewel, the cherry on top. I'll say this true, and I will speak honestly as a Louisville fan. I wanted Jayden Quaintance to play for Louisville. And I'll say in the 4 games that we've seen of Jayden Quaintance, especially in that first game or two, I was blown away by the player that he is and the potential that he has. I very much envision Jayden Quaintance as the next coming of a Montrezl Harrell type player. Just the pure physicality he brings out there. We saw it against St. John's in the way that he completely changed that game. He was a dominant force in the post, and he was a guy that just like he is going to make you feel like the rim can come off any time that he's about to dunk it. Unfortunately, there's been a little bit of drama in the background. The situation, his father tweeting out a lot, showing his unhappiness with the situation at Kentucky and the situation around his son, which is also going to bring me up to the kind of the point that I'm going to get to. And the question, I guess, that I have is, do we believe it? I mean, BBN, Kentucky fans, do we believe that this is a serious injury and that Jayden Quaintance, that he's just not good to go and that he's having serious issues getting back to playing shape? I don't know, because I was more than open and I was more than okay to take a beating by my Louisville brethren. They're still out there trying to collect scalps, if you will. For me and other people that have questioned the Michael Brown situation. The problem is with the Michael Brown situation, we talk about back injuries and him being young and all that kind of stuff, but there was enough evidence out there. There was the giving of the falling draft stock. There was giving him, trying to at least to travel and to try to get going and warm ups and just saying he couldn't get it gone. There was enough pieces out there besides the London Johnson stuff that kind of made me raise even more questions. Well, whatever, regardless, There's enough out there saying that he wanted to get back to the court and he felt the need to get back to the court. Jaden Quaintance has not been that scenario for me, like from the beginning of the season. I mean, we joke and we laugh and ha 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 ha. It's so funny, the SHAEDON Sharpe stuff. It's SHAEDON Sharpe 2.0. We make that joke, but I mean, there's a lot more truth to it than there has been, any evidence to the opposite. And it's something, I made a joke at the beginning of the season too, talking about the grandiose amount of money that this team has obviously apparently wasted. That I wonder about the donors and how they're going to feel coming back to spend this kind of money on a team again next year. I would doubt that they will. But I mean, to me, it's kind of like, what is it for Jaden Quaintance? What's the carrot leading him to really try to come back to this team? It seems pretty apparent to me. He gave a little bit of go. He had his issues. There's some kind of turmoil in the background. I mean, heck, half the season, this team, you go to every other player and talk about turmoil in the backdrop of what's happening throughout the season. Jaden Quaintance, though, it's been pretty apparent with his father. I think it's pretty clear that he's probably done for the season. You're probably not going to see Jaden Quaintance again. I just don't see it happening. Unless maybe, just maybe they get it going. This team really starts to put it together once again. You had that 5-game winning streak, but then they just got obliterated by Vanderbilt. If they can maybe look good, decent, maybe try to get a win somehow against Daddy Calipari, I just don't see it happening. But if they're able to put together in the end of the season, the SEC and the NCAA tournament, maybe he gives it a go. I just don't see it. I don't believe it. I think he is done, and I think they're just trying to walk their way around it. I think Mark Pope's trying to find anything he can say to not look like an ass in the scenario, not look like he's just being completely taken advantage of, which is what's happening. He's being taken advantage of. The donors, the boosters, all the people that are paying for these players to come and play for their school, play for the University. I mean, it's happening all over the country, but especially at the University of Kentucky right now. You're seeing the amount of money that's being wasted, and I can't imagine any of those guys or gals who ponied up and made this team happen are very happy with the results and what they're seeing, especially coming from Jaden Quaintance. Now, we'll see. We'll cover obviously anything that happens, but I think me personally, the smartest move I think that Mark Pope could probably do, and if you want to try to be the new Calipari, maybe if you want to try to have that new look, you want to get ahead of this a little bit more, I would just kind of call your shot. Be a big boy, Mark Pope. Call your shot. Say, no, he's sitting out for the season. We're going to worry about this guy getting right and getting good for the NBA. Maybe you can try to earn a little bit of that kind of that je ne sais quoi, if you will, the swagger that you don't have, the Calipari kind of swagger that Kentucky basketball had. Get ahead of it. Say, no, this is what we're gonna do. We're worried about this. This is where we want to get, and this is just so that way you look a little bit less powerless than you are right now. And then, hey, maybe that'll be something that'll help get a little fire under his ass. Maybe turn him on a little bit, not that way, but get him turned on and maybe say, okay, you know what? If you're saying that I'm done and I can't do this, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to get out there and go. So let me know. I think at this point in the season, everything we've seen from Quaintance, everything we've seen from his dad, I just don't see it happening. I think it is kind of a SHAEDON Sharpe 2.0. Maybe more of a Jared Vanderbilt, I guess, 2.0, if you will, because he's actually saw the court for a little bit. But unfortunately, everybody who called it when they signed him, they kind of called it right. Jaden Quaintance is basically your SHAEDON Sharpe 2.0, unless he can prove anybody else differently. We'll wait and see. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Do you think he'll ever see the court for Kentucky again? Or do you think it is just another highway robbery on the long trek of NCAA NIL basketball, and hopefully somebody will figure this thing out and get the ship righted just so people stop wasting their money, just to be honest. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. You can follow me at Justin Sofro, and of course, you can follow ESPN 680 93.9 The Ville on all the other platforms as well. I'll see you guys next time. Cards, Cats, Bourbon, and Bluegrass. See ya.